Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you are new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
We are going to onboard an application today. Let's learn about application onboarding. Have anyone came across this question in the interview? Have you done application onboarding? Have you created anything? Something like that. This is an important one. It plays a major role when it comes to interview. Definitely we are going to ask about application onboarding, custom connectors, a number of things we will ask. One interviewer asked me, I was working on ServiceNow IDs and application on IDs. They asked me if I worked on application onboarding as well. Have you worked already? Which means, no, I did not work on application onboarding. Guys, let's try to bring some real time details if you have already worked. No, I'll explain each and everything, but if they have already worked, you can share with all of them. I don't want to take class theoretically because it's not going to be helpful anymore. You should know each and everything. Yeah, that's the reason I'll start with installation. I'll go for application onboarding. I could have started any other topic, but why have chosen application onboarding? Because in your system nothing is there. Since you are going to install you need identities to manage, right? SailPoint is all about managing identities and their access. How we are going to manage? We need some identities to manage. In real-time project, you might have seen around from 50,000 to 5 lakh identities. From my experience, I have seen around 2 lakh identities to manage. It's going to be hectic. Manage means not you are going to open each and every identity. Let's learn one by one. No issue. As of now, we are going to onboard an application. Onboard is nothing. It's a fancy word. You can understand it's a creation of application. Is it clear? We are going to create an application that we can create and we can import all the identities. Whoever has already access to the particular application, we can bring those identities into SailPoint and we can manage. Is it clear? Let me draw something. Let's take an example. Tool. This is going to be SailPoint. As of now, it's clean slate. Nothing is there in your system. Nothing. Zero. Nothing is there. But you have some target application. Let's take an example. You guys know, right? Gmail is a web application. Let's take an example. Hypothetically, I am saying for you to understand, Gmail is an application. Some 1 lakh identities, 1 lakh employees, 1 lakh users you can assume. They are using Gmail. And Google is feeling we need to manage those 1 lakh identities. In that scenario, some client or some vendor, they are going to use SailPoint to manage their 1 lakh employees. Is it clear? The scenario. The scenario. The scenario. In that scenario, I am going to onboard this application into SailPoint, into Gmail. I am going to have one application here, cold mail, as part. Once the application is created, I am going to onboard that 1 lakh identities. I am going to use ID, user details, you can say, into SailPoint that I can manage efficiently. This is the target application. The source could be anything. From there, I am going to aggregate import. I am going to onboard. These are the fancy words. Let's learn one by one. You are going to import into SailPoint. Does that make sense? If you didn't understand, you can ask. One more time I'll explain. No issue. This is the basic you have to understand. Your basic has to be strong. Whenever you are going to onboard an application, which means that application is already present in the target system and system, you can say, from there you are going to create an, from there you are going to fetch the data. Something like you are going to fetch the data from the database. Application onboarding. We are going to onboard an application based on connector. You should know what is connector. Anyone has any idea what is connector? Let's raise your hand if you know. Connector is cool. Connectors are like connector, 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 connect. Each connector interface is one application. It's kind of a it's kind of a it's kind of a bridge between the application and the SailPoint internal database. Right. That's true. Connector is nothing. It's quite simple. It's a piece of code. First of all, it's a piece of code. Said it will work as a mediator. Being SailPoint and the end application. The end application could be anything. Let me mention a target application. There are a number of applications. Gmail is an application. Google Maps is an application. Google Drive is an application. Whoever is going to use that application, they are going to call accounts or identities. There is a difference between accounts and identities. Let's learn later. No, as of now, just concentrate. Whoever has access to that application, those people also we are going to onboard. Any doubts, guys? Because if you understand this, we can go proceed further. It's going to work as a mediator between SailPoint and target application. That's it. That's all about connector. Let's take an example. If your application data has been stored in database, whether it's been stored in any cloud application or any feed file. Feed file means spreadsheet. All the people is going to use spreadsheet, all HR people. Based on those data, I mean where the data has been stored. From there, we are going to fetch all application details and identities. If you understand these things, let's go ahead for the demo. How we are going to create an application and all in real time. Whenever there is a requirement to create an application, you are going to have a working session with a client application team. What kind of questions we can ask? Let's discuss later. I will show you how to create an application, how to onboard an application. After that, how we are going to operate it, those are the things we will learn. Whenever you get a requirement to create an application, just click on application, click on definition, click on the application. And guys, one more time I'm reminding you, if you have any doubts, try to clear then and there. Whenever you are going to click on the add new application, this is the page it's going to open. Here you are going to provide an application name. No need to worry which application name you are going to provide from your end. Just you are going to get all the details from the application team. What could be application name? Who is going to be the owner of this application? What description we can provide? Because this is going to be very helpful when it comes to end user. These are the details. We are going to get it from the application team client. No need to worry about these things. Just you. Our job is to feed all the details correctly in real-time project. What is revoker there? The person who has access to revoker access, he can revoke this application. It's similar to owner and revoker. Both are similar. Owner of the application. Let's talk about one by one. Name, you can mention the application name over there. Let's take an example. Google Drive. Google Drive is an application. Who is going to be owner for this application? Can anyone tell me what will be the application owner roles and responsibility? Anita. The owner. The owner has the right to revoke or accept any of the changes requests. Owner is also responsible for the life cycle management of the application. From the time it is onboarded until it is completely. I understood. But practically in project, since you are an application owner, what will be your roles and response? You are the application owner for this Google Drive application. Let's take an example. What will be your day to day activities when it comes to this particular application? That the application is running properly, and it's upon administrator job, not your job. Well, it will be to approve the request. Exactly. If this right, approve the request. That's true. Let's make a note. What will be your application? Application owner roles and responsibility. Because usually I'll ask these kind of questions when it comes to me. They are a pressure or media, 5 years. Definitely. I'll ask. Application owner. End user is going to submit any access request. Consider he has end user submitted for this particular application. As an application owner, he has approved or revoked access request. You guys know, right, what is access request? User is going to submit any access request. Access request means is the functionality to get access. What will be another detail, some roles and responsibility? He has to approve that access request. He has to take some decision on that. Apart from that, he is responsible for the certification. User validation. Certification. Let me mention certification. if certification is going to happen. Since he is the application owner and someone has selected as application owner the particular identity like SP admin, in that scenario, he is responsible for the certification also. A number of things is there. As application owner, he is not going to remove any access directly. He has to provide some approval. A number of things are there. Let's learn. Revoker, the same one who is going to remove his access. Proxy application. If you have any dummy application in the backend, since we are not going to use it anymore and we are going to keep those applications for some purpose, in that scenario you can use proxy application, and profile class also kind of same only. We are not going to use this proxy application profile class in real-time project. This authoritative application, it's going to be very helpful. Let's consider, sorry to interrupt, why proxy application is given here. What is the function of it when creating an application? You have application in your system and real-time project have noticed if you don't want to any aggregation or provisioning or anything doesn't want to happen. In that scenario, you can use this proxy kind of thing. But we are not going to use in that. I haven't seen. Let's talk about these things. It's very important one. This authoritative application case and save, maintain, enable. These are the things. Authoritative application. Let's say employees are going to join from today. HR, what they will do? They have joined AFME FinCox company organization. The moment the employee is going to join HR, what they will do? They are going to collect all the information about the employee like first name, last name, employee details. Those kind of things, they are going to collect it from employee and they will update in somewhere. It could be Excel sheet. It could be some database applications. It could be any cloud application. Somewhere they are going to feed. They are going to enter all those details, isn't it? Once they have updated in their system, we are going to get those details into SailPoint. That's the main purpose of having onboarding application. Let's take if that application is a trusted one, we are going to get all the details from that particular feed file only, particular location. From H, our people only we are going to get the details. It's kind of corporate directory. In that scenario, we are going to take this application as an authoritative application because it's going to be a trustable one. Authoritative application means it's a trusted application from you are going to get all the employee details. It's kind of corporate directory. The moment for in real-time project, any one or two application is going to be authoritative. Case sensitive. If you want to ignore case and sensitive, like proper case, uppercase, lowercase in sensitive, you can enable these things. Maintenance enabled. Let's talk about native change reduction after maintenance enabled. Maintenance enabled is nothing. The moment application team is saying we are in a process to offboard this application decommission. The decommission is going to happen for this application. In that scenario, we are going to enable this one. Decommission, you guys know, right? We are going to offboard the application on the same mode opposite to onboard. Deletion, you can consider. We are going to delete this application from SailPoint. In that scenario, provisioning and aggregation should not happen. Provisioning is we are going to provide some access to the end user. That should not happen. If it is going to be decommissioned, In that scenario, we are going to enable this one and we can mention the date. Something like, and when it is going to be decommissioned, expiration date we can mention. After that, it is going to enable again. If you are going to mention any date, it is going to be active again. If you are not going to mention these time steps, date and time, then it is going to be permanently for the decommission. The application has been decommissioned. No provisioning will happen. No aggregation will happen. In that scenario, you can use maintenance. Have you guys heard maintenance? The application is in maintenance mode. Native change reduction is really helpful. As I shown, we have a target system. This is SailPoint. This is target system. This could be anything. This application. Let's take an example. Google Drive. All the changes has to be made via SailPoint. All access request has to be submitted via SailPoint. All transactions has to be done via the SailPoint. If anyone is making changes on the target system, like Google Drive application directly to XYZ identity and SailPoint, doesn't have any records. In the scenario, if you are going to enable this native change detection, SailPoint will come to know via aggregation. For this identity, some access has been added or removed from the backend. In that scenario, you can use native change user. Is it clear? Can you come again with the aggregation point? No, we will. Let's do one thing. I'll create an application. I'll do the aggregation. After that, we'll talk about native change detection. And also, when you say identity, you mean users or the objects. From SailPoint perspective, it's users only. Ident, employee, identities, all are same. When it comes to SailPoint, we are going to call them as identity. In business language, we are going to call them as user or end user something. But when it comes to SailPoint, we are going to consider them as identity, only not employee, not other word. It's going to be concerned. We are going to consider as identity. Is it clear? Yes, sir. Native change detection is simple. In the target application, someone is making changes directly to any identity, any users. SailPoint will come to know via aggregation if this button has been enabled. Let's create an application first after the disease. The application needs Google Drive. Bonner name has to be there. Application type is nothing except connector. What connector we are going to use? I know in the backend, HR people is going to use this kind of spreadsheet. Let me take an example. This is an application and it has been maintained by HR people in their server, in their anything. This is going to be called as feed file. Feed file or spreadsheet, you can consider anything. Feed file. In that feed file, they are going to update all the employee details. Let's take an example with all details. Here I'm going to update some name, employee randomly. Let's take two updates. Manager is going to be null. I'm not going to mention that. Now full name is going to be I'm going to Rama. Something. Email we have to mention. Department. Executive management only. These are the things same normal. Let me keep. Consider let's today. Employee has been joined and HR people updating in the spreadsheet. This is the format they are using. I'm also using the same. Department. All are working same department. Is it clear? Two employee has been joined today and we have updated same. Let's keep the existing employee on it too. The employee, the LL, is already present in the system. We are not going to remove. Let's save this file. HR people has updated this one. And we have a drive application in SailPoint. How the aggregation is going to happen using the connector. Let's learn drive. The format is always going to be CSV format, comma separated values. Rakesh, what is post center? These are the attributes. Let me clear. I have opened one identity. Whatever you are going to see here, email manager type. These are the things it's going to be called as attributes. What is attributes? This is going to be attribute. What we can do with the attributes, we can store all the identity details. Let's take an example. Is it clear? It's quite simple. First name, last name, whatever column you are going to see in identity, those are going to call as identity attributes. Whatever you are going to see in application details, it's going to call as, let me open a file. These are going to be called as identity attributes. The first name, last name from application team application attribute from identity side, it's identity attribute. Does it make sense? Like, what is the meaning of attribute cost center? A cost center is used by application team. Employee belongs to which application, which department he belongs to, they will be having cost center number randomly have entered. These are the things used by clients. Real time project you are going to see. Which department, which region they are working, what is the location of the employee, what is the job title, what is the hire date, what is the termination date, what is the position, ID. These kind of attribute client will use. For reference, I have added here. Does that make sense? These are the attributes. Standard attribute is first name, last name, manager. We have seen here username, last name, image. Just click on Add New Application. It's going to be tried. You can mention any name as of now. Let me create an application, SPAdmin. The description, you can get it from the client and you can mention it to you. It's going to be visible for the end user. As of now, it's going to be authoritative like trusted source corporate directory. I'm going to enable this one. The moment I'm going to select this application type and number of tabs will open. Application type is nothing, it's connector. Connector is a piece of between SailPoint and target application. Using the connector, we are going to aggregate everything. Is it clear, guys? Since I'm going to use all the data has been stored in the feed file, I'm going to use the connector. If the data has been stored in the database or any other database, in that scenario, I'm going to use JDBC connector. If the database has been stored in Active Directory or any other application, I'm going to use Active Directory connector. If it is a cloud application, I'm going to use any cloud connector. Based on application and where the data has been stored, you can. If it is a SAP application, you can use SAP connector. If it is a Workday application, you can use Workday. If it is a based application, you can use. If you want to use WebEx or any WebEx application, you can use the connector directly. Service, now you have a connector. For Salesforce, you have a connector. Something like that. Based on these connector types, remaining tabs is going to open. Configuration correlation. I have selected delimiter now. Since the file has been stored in the feed file spreadsheet, I have used delimiter tab connector. Using that, the remaining tabs will open. Let's go to the configuration tab. From here, we are going to mention all the file name where the file has been stored. What is the file name? Each and everything we are going to mention. Let's provide the path first. This is the file name and this is the path. I am going to mention the same here in the file path. In the file encoding language, it is going to be UTF-8 or any other language. If the salesman is able to read this file, no issue. Or else you have to mention the file language encoding language. Usually, I have noticed it is going to be UTF-8. And where the file has been stored, whether it has been local, local means local system, or FTP means file transfer protocol, any server they have used to store. In that scenario, you can mention the server name. Credential you can provide. SCP Secure Copy Protocol the server belongs to. You can mention the same and you can provide the credential. It's quite simple. As of now, we have stored our data in local system. I have used local parsing type. Based on this parsing type, only SailPoint will be able to read that file you have mentioned here. In that scenario, you have to mention the file type. Is it going to be delimited file or any other regular expression? Which means any comma. I mean, apart from comma and type line, you are going to use any other regular expression. As of now, we are going to use delimiter one only. How do you know which delimiter type we have used in this file? Any. Which delimiter we have used in this file. But comma the project, how you are going to decide. We can open this in WordPad and you can see exactly. We can open this file in the Notepad, ++ Notepad, and you will come to know. The file, all the column has been separated by this comma, which means comma is the delimiter. If it is a pipeline, then you can mention the pipeline. Let me update as a comma and file has column header or not, or it's a length mismatch. If anything is there, you can mention as another file has the column header, or else SailPoint will read this line as identity and it will create an identity for first name, last name also. To avoid that, we are going to mention this. One file has a column header on the first line. That's one file scheme for the file, this one. Any idea? Because you have put file encoding exactly you. Retrieving file scheme was successful, but there was a failure iterating object. It means SailPoint is able to read the file successfully, but it couldn't read the objects one by one, line by line. It couldn't read because the schema doesn't have any attribute defined. We didn't define any attributes. I told you already, whatever attributes you are going to see in under identity, those attributes are all identity sheet. These are going to be called application attribute, or else you can say account attribute. These are the account related attributes, first name, last name. Are you able to understand the difference? What is the difference between identity attribute and accounts attribute? You can say application as well, but it's different. Let's turn later. These are the things called accounts attributes. We didn't declare this account attribute in the applications. Let's do that one by one. You have to click on the Add New Attribute. Here you are going to mention name, what will be the description, and what will be the type for this attribute. Again, you are going to click on that again. The last name, you have to add something like, you have to add one by one. If you want to do it manually, just click on the discourse pipeline. But I am going to use pipeline instead of comma. I am going to have mentioned pipeline. Just sit here while we are doing. Let me tell you, instead of comma, I have used pipeline. If I'm going to use pipeline, what will happen? Click on the Discover Schema attributes. It will be able to fetch all the attributes from the file. It is able to fetch, but there's some error because we didn't use the proper delimiter. I'm going to mention comma only now, just have it. I'm going to delete the schema, delete the attribute. I'm going to click on the first attribute. All the attribute will fetch properly employee ed, first name, last name, manager ed. Everything will be fixed perfectly. Is it clear how we are going to create this account attribute from the target system? We are going to mention the file name here. We are going to, from where we are going to fetch the file, what is the type, millimeter type, and how we are going to create an attribute. Just click on the preview. All the details will be shown here, all the employee details. Before that, specify the identity attribute before running the test. Here we identity attribute. Let me select this one that has ITT attribute. It will be set. These are the things you are going to get it from the client. No need to worry about these things. Let me select full name as display attribute. Guys, just try to create the same in your system today. Just click on the preview. All the employee details will be populated. Like we have added 2 employees and 1 employee has already present. This is how. Just click on the test connection now. Test connection successful, which means SailPoint is able to read the file properly and it's in a position. It's in a place to create all the identities. Perfectly right. Just read this. That's it. We have created an application. Let's talk about the remaining tabs. We will continue tomorrow. Just I'll complete how to create an application, how to get those identities. We have created an application. Now I'm going to import all the identities. How we are going to import using the task. To do that, just click on the setup, go to task. We have a topic called task. We will learn later. Let me create the task and I'll tell you. We are going to import all the accounts. I'm going to click on account aggregation. You can mention that application name over here. Application name, what drives something. It's a random one. You can use anything. Drive Google account aggregation. These each and everything we will discuss later when the topic comes. I'm going to select an application to scan. Application name is Drive Google and I'm going to create all the identities I'm going to import. Just save and execute Drive. Google account aggregation has been executed in the background. It's been executed successfully. There is no error. This is the important one. Is it clear, guys? Application scanned Google Drive. The application was scanned. Total 3 identities were present. In that we are able to create 2 identities. One identity was already present. If there is any changes, it will update. Does that make sense? First, we create the application and then we import identities. We are using aggregation. Why we are going to import identities? Because we need to manage from where we are going to get those identities from HR, from application team. Application team could be anything for a learning purpose. I have teach our people. Since employees going to join all the organization, they are going to feed all the details in the Excel sheet. From there, I'm going to get all the identities. No, aggregation is nothing. Aggregation means you are going to aggregate those data into SailPoint using the connector. Connector will act in the backend. What exactly is the meaning of aggregate? Aggregate means you can take an example import. You are going to import those identities. These are the fancy words. If you are going to work on the same point, you should know onboard aggregate out of the box. A number of things are there, but when it comes to the practical, it is going to be very simple. Aggregate is nothing. You can consider its import. You are going to import all the identities, all data. Now understand, yes, already 3 accounts were. I mean 3 data you are able to see in the spreadsheet right here. 3 line, but 1 identity already created 2 identity we have added. Those 2 identity has been created. 1 has been updated. Update means if we make any changes, it will update or else it will leave as it is. Just go ahead and check the identity. Rakesh, what connector you used here since I know the data has been stored in the actual sheet. Excel form is CSV, comma separated value. I can use delimiter. Delimiter was the connector exactly right. I have created 2 identities. You can check here. Vinay and Rama I have created. Does it make sense? All 2 identities have been created one. One quick question, Rakesh. Now we created the application, we imported identity also. Right, right. I think in SailPoint itself, we can provision them also. The provision access also, right, right. Provision you need. You ask, go ahead, we can provision, but first we need identity, right? If you have identity, we can provision access or correct a number of applications. And that's a different topic, or provisioning is different one. We will learn when the workflow topics come. We will learn. We will talk about the provisioning as just understand how to onboard an application, how we are going to import those identities from the particular application. There are a number of things you have to learn, like what is identity, what is the differentiation, what is out of the box. There are a number of what is custom, what is back, and what is front end. A number of things are there. What is batch server? What is a server? A number of things. Day by day, we learn. No, but till now, we have created an application. We have on board those identities using the task name is account. Aggregation means it's quite simple. We are going to import the data application type in data localhost in our laptop, correct? Delimiter means based on where the data has been stored. If you have stored all the data has been stored in the Excel sheet, you can use delimiter. If the data has been stored in database, then you have to use JDBC. Are you getting what I'm saying? If it is a cloud, then there will be different connector. But now Excel sheet to save the application means there click in the unlimited file exactly. If it is a database, means you have to select JDBC the moment you are going to select JDBC. Let's take an example. All the data has been stored in the JDBC in the configuration tab. It's going to change. There the file name we have provided. File path, file language, delimiter type we have given right. But when it comes to JDBC, you are going to use these details connection, user, connection, password database, URL, number of things, but remaining tab is going to same car correlation risk activity, data source rules, and password policy. It's going to be same for all connectors. I can say 90% it's going to be same, but configuration tab will change for each and every connector type. Does that make sense? We have to concentrate on configuration. If there is any customization required, we can check these things. We will learn these 6 tabs tomorrow. When you are importing the identity from the Excel sheet, there are 2 options. You can give manually or else you can import it like automating. There were strings for each attribute. There was string column. Now, if attribute is a number, will it take automatically integer or it will still be string? If the data type is integer, you have to mention integer, it will fetch. No issue, no need to mention as integer and all. It will fetch all the data. The drive Googled. We have created an application, right? The data type, you need to worry about the data. Just go to Schema. From here, the type, no need to worry about the cost center. You know it's going to be multi-valued in that scenario. Just click on briefly if there is a situation you have to handle on yourself. That's the main purpose. We have learned about details and configurations in that provisioning policy. Also pending it's nothing, the form section will come. We will learn that time later. Provisioning policy is related to forms. In the global settings you can check. There is a topic and there is a configure is there. Configure forms for role provisioning policies. This is the provisioning policies related to forms. We will learn later. As of now, just concentrate. What are the things we are learning? If you don't have any questions, we can wind up. Guys, if you have anything far, we have just imported the identity. There are many things to cover for completing the application on tomorrow. I'll cover. Can you go to case sensitive native change detection and maintenance tomorrow, or is it case sensitive already? I have told right case sensitive is nothing, it's quite. If you want to make this application in the proper case lowercase, you want to ignore case sensitive, you can enable those kind of things. It's quite simple. In the back end, as I said, from target application. If someone is making any changes, all that changes has to be made via SailPoint. All access request has to be there. When it comes to audit, from right hand side to left hand side is SailPoint. Let me just take an example, right? Left hand side is SailPoint and right hand side is the target application. A target application could be anything. It has to match. There is access request has to be there, and from the target application identity should have access. It should match. Understand what I'm saying? If someone is making changes in the target application directly and SailPoint doesn't have any access request, in that scenario, if you are going to enable this native change deduction, it's quite simple. Answer relates on the same native change deduction and SailPoint will deduct it. This identity. Someone has made any changes, it will notify to the you want to approve, accept, or you want to revoke. Is this a new change? Is this a new change? After 7.2 it was not there. Is it this feature? It was there. I think 7.3 it was there. Your 7.3 there. I have worked on this. 6.2 version, it was not there. I think the legacy version we usually call them, it's not there. Based on the attribute, only you are going to decide what will be the operation like for create, modify, delete, for all kind of operation you want to notify, and based on which attribute the native change detection is going to detect if anyone make changes. Only on the end did we do the notification settings, email things and everything exactly. We have a number of things we will learn. We can see tomorrow, no problem. No, not tomorrow. We are going to learn. We will learn. Tomorrow I'm going to cover these 6 topics. Apart from that, I'll try to create 2 more applications. How we are going to create you should. What is when we are checking native change detection, and for the operations we are giving create, modify and delete. From where are we getting this request and why are we creating or modifying or deleting it? Someone is going to create an identity directly. In that scenario, SailPoint will come to know aggregation. If you didn't enable this create, then it won't get understand, it won't be able to understand. Somebody deleted the identity from the main spreadsheet. Suppose an aggregation SailPoint will come to know that an identity was deleted or a user was deleted, right? Something like that. Based on operation it will define, and based on the attribute it is going to deduct. If someone is changing changes to the entitlement, then it will deduct. Or do you have to define? And then you have to define those things. Somebody is going to add or remove what they are going to remove or add any access right. You can define those access by attributes. That's the main purpose. Awesome. I have questions, but I'm just being conscious about the time. Will I last more? No issue, guys. The native change detection. It's not quite easy. We will be able to achieve as a. Are you getting what I'm saying? If you're going for out of the box, then it's going to be very simple. If you're going for any customization, it took 1.5 years to accomplish this project. From past experience, I'm saying it's going to be very difficult, but just have an idea what is native change detection. Does that make sense? All right, yep. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.